Right.
Like, clit is number one. Number one. Clit.
Put up a sign.
Seriously, though, clit is the MVP. I was waiting for you to moan.
I was going to moan. You wanted me to moan. Just like, oh.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Very
Sid?
suitable for work. Hi, Pookie.
Pookie today.
Yeah.
How are you?
I am well. I'm tired.
Yeah.
We're in the morning, y'all. Welcome to the morning.
The morning.
Arya's a morning person. I am not, except for sex, ironically.
You like having sex in the morning?
What?
You like having sex in the morning?
I do have like having what?
It's
I
okay.
do like having sex in the morning. Not better than the night or anything. I'm one of those people who's like, oh, you've woken me up with
that.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
Okay, wait. Speaking of.
Yeah, man.
Jumping in.
Jump into me.
Unbuttoning our tops and bottoms. Did you have sex this weekend?
I did not because I am kind of getting serious with this guy that I've been seeing.
He's getting serious. It's getting serious.
For those of you who might be interested in me, you've got another like 10 days to hit me up before this man maybe becomes my boyfriend, and then it's over for you.
For those of you who, thank you, Brian. For those of you who are interested in me, you can always get it.
So yeah, actually harkening back to our first episode, we're not having sex right now because we're waiting for STD panel results, like
job.
full-grown adults. So yeah, we are not, but I am catching feelings.
I love this.
Yeah, so
I can't wait to meet him.
You would like him.
Because I will.
You will meet him. Yeah, he is great. I really do.
You won't meet him, but I will meet him.
No, you will not.
You will not meet him.
He's not going to come here and talk to you like we do.
Okay, so wait. So you had a conversation being like, hey, let's get STI Spanels.
Yeah. I mean, it actually was his idea. I'm not going to take credit.
Oh, I love him now.
Yeah, it was his idea. And he was like very adamant about it. And I've been waiting. And I will tell everyone, I mean, as we said in a previous episode, I'm a guy who likes to fuck. So now I'm like getting...
Cock guy likes to fuck.
Cock guy likes to fuck. And cock guy hasn't fucked in 3 weeks now. And that is...
What a dry spell. Like, oh my God.
November has been hard.
Unbelievable.
It was difficult.
But pun not intended.
No,
it hasn't been hard.
Hasn't been.
It's been
well,
soft.
It's been hard, just not touched.
November's been soft, everybody.
So...
Okay.
What about you?
No.
Oh, you want to ask me more? Okay.
I do want to ask. Well, you know what? I'll save that for when we're getting coffee when we're done with this.
Okay.
I have not had sex, but I did get a new toy.
My God. Do you name your toys?
I don't.
I do.
Tell me why.
It's just more fun.
Do you like call out your toy's name? You're like,
no,
oh my God,
no,
Thomas.
His name is Dave. I don't call out Dave.
You're like, oh, Pickles, I love
but
you.
I do love the moment of like, where's Dave? I need Dave.
Unbelievable.
You're just like looking for Dave. You're like, where the fuck? Where did I put Dave last? Is Dave clean? Is Dave ready? Dave. Yeah,
also,
Dave.
Like,
well, that's the thing is I'm never going to date a guy named Dave. So the toy can be named. Kind of.
That's wild.
I just like don't see that. My clairvoyance isn't calling out that I'm going to have a partner named Dave.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
no, I don't name my toys.
All right. What kind is it?
It's not a rabbit, but it is a like rabbit-esque. I don't know why I'm
was it a
using a
claw?
It is like a rabbit-esque vibe. So it's like we're talking vibrating dildo moment, but we're also talking like little clip moment as well.
Cool.
She's purple.
I
don't know. Everything in my life is
feminine.
Yeah, my car, even though my car's name is Gandalf.
Gandalf can be female. You shall not
Gandalf
pass.
the Grey is a woe man.
Whoa, man.
But I have a couple different spots that I do like getting toys from.
Okay.
And one of my favorite internet presences, Brandon Kyle Goodman, did a promo with that company. I think they're called Belsea.
Belsea.
Bellesea. And they, he was essentially like, it was like giving out free vibrators or discounted vibrators if you put in his code. And so I did. And I really liked the one that came up. And I was like, yes.
It was free.
Yes.
That's hot.
I feel that way.
That's
but
very
I also,
hot.
okay. I wonder if she'll watch this.
Who is she?
The girl that I took over the lease from for my new apartment
Yeah.
last year. I don't know if she was like trying to be an ambassador for like a sex toy company. I don't know what her life was, and I think she's amazing. Period. And I thought she was even more amazing when I reached under the bed because she was like, just keep my bed frame, and I was like, all right, cool. I reach under the bed. I pull out a huge box. Huge, like when I tell you huge box, I want to tell you like a 4x4 foot box of dildos
Fuck yeah.
and lube.
Oh my
and
God.
toys.
That's my kind of girl.
I know.
Proud of you, sis.
and listen,
Absolutely.
I think people automatically people act like toys are like, I mean, they are, I don't know.
What?
I was going to say people act like toys are like underwear. So like, it's like you would never wear anybody else's underwear. Why would you ever use a toy? But like toys are made of food grade silicone.
Right.
And if you sanitize them, they just become a blank slate.
I'm just listening
essentially.
to you. I'm just like listening. Sorry. You were waiting for me to say something.
All
I was like,
I'm
no, tell me
saying
more.
is that I may or may not have sanitized some of that shit. I don't have the chargers for some of them because some of them are not battery powered and they're like the plugins, and the plugins are not there. And like one of the beads in the bead pack is missing. So like whatever. Also like what? Just one? I'm
Just
also
one is inside of someone somewhere?
Absolutely. And we'll talk about this one day later when we do our anal episode. But I'm just in abject terror of a butt plug for many reasons.
Why?
Brandon Kyle Goodman also told us a story on the internet about him losing a butt plug inside of his body.
No. Move
Inside
right
of it,
along.
like,
Move right along.
Had to go to the hospital.
That's not for me. No, man.
All I'm saying is, if you get a butt plug, get a flat-ended one. Okay?
Yeah, get a flat-ended one. What are you thinking?
I mean, listen.
My God, the terror.
But the reason I brought that up today.
Terror. Losing it inside of...
Ryan is recoiling in his seat.
What you can't see is straight men recoiling off camera.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I will say, though, that I think toys... I feel like I have cat hair all over my body, which tells you everything you need to know about my sex life, according to my parents. But I do think that toys are like one of my most favorite things, and that's one of the things we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, so let me ask you some questions then.
Please, let's do it. I love a toy.
Sound of Music, favorite things. What was your first toy?
My first toy, oh my God, do not judge me. My first toy was when I was like exploring masturbatory life when I was like in my early teens.
Early teens.
And I remember getting a double pack of the Oral-B Pulsar toothbrushes.
Fuck yeah. That's ingenious.
And being like, you know what?
Did they go in?
This isn't.
I have so many
No,
questions.
they don't go inside.
So
They're
many
too
questions.
small. But also, I wasn't.
You were 14.
I was scared of that.
Oh, no.
I also was scared of
because
that.
you didn't want to break your own hymen.
Yeah, I was like, what does that do? I'm good. I'm not good.
I'm not good.
I'm not good.
I'm not
But the
good.
flat side of the actual brush head is crazy. It's like a tiny little vibrator. It's great.
So did you have an orgasm from a toothbrush?
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
I'm obsessed with you.
I'm obsessed with you.
I feel like your dentist should know.
Well, I mean, I did that for a while.
Wow, years.
For a couple years until, I mean, I was at boarding school. I was like, I don't know whether I'm going to go out and buy a sex toy. I'm not old enough to go out and buy a sex toy.
Right.
So
The toothbrush it is.
And I'm not going to buy like a $200 sharper image, fucking
image toothbrush.
massage. Like those big ones.
Why is it so big?
They're huge.
What was it? I
Dude,
just don't know what we're talking
about. You know
about.
those plug-in massagers that people used to like joke around that people used to,
I do.
My God, exactly that.
Hey.
So one for your mouth and one for your pussy.
Yeah, baby. Hot.
I was
Wow,
resourceful.
I should have done that.
I was
That
resourceful as fuck. I was resourceful. But also, to be fair, like...
To give you vibes looking at
Yeah, are you turned on
I
looking
am
at that
deeply
toothbrush
turned
right
on.
now?
And also...
Do you just get hot walking down
I've had
the
some
oral
dental work
hygiene
this
aisle?
week, and I'm getting more done today, so I'm like just traumatized as well. But I do think that the other part of this is you can almost use any vibrating toothbrush, but every single one has a completely different, like Oral-B's flat-headed brush is the dream because of the flathead. And it just like taught me everything. That, you have no idea. You have no idea, y'all. That fucking toothbrush head taught me everything I needed to know about my actual clit. I was like, oh, cool. Brian, did you just make the noise?
Make the noise.
Brian
of
just
the,
went,
the The
That's
vibrating
exactly
toothbrush.
right. And now, you'll never be able to walk into a CVS and
No, I'm never walking
not
down the
think
oral
of
hygiene
me,
aisle
but
again. Yeah.
I encourage everyone. But okay, so then after that, my first actual toy, my 18th birthday, I was so excited to like do all the things I could do legally at 18.
Right.
So I bought a lotto ticket, I bought cigarettes, I fucking registered to vote, and then I went to a sex toy store
In that very order.
in that very order and bought this tiny little purple vibrator.
Like one of these guys.
Not that tiny, like it was sort of like a figure 8 like warp. Do you
That
know
big?
what I mean?
Give me scale. Give me
Oh,
scale. I'm
let's
a size queen. Give me scale.
You're a size queen. You are a size
I
queen.
am. Sorry.
It's also
This is I don't no, put the camera on me. I do not shame small size.
because I was gonna say
I just know that like what I want. That's all.
period.
That's
but I
all.
was also gonna say that size queenism is like borderline elitist. So I'm really glad that you said that.
Yeah.
Now, I think there's a lot of female size queens, and one day we'll talk about this. But the irony of that is the average vagina is only about 5 inches deep. So it's so funny that I was like, I like big. I'm like, no, you don't.
Right.
You think you do. You were told to, but
You were
don't
told to.
actually like it. And nobody likes feeling like, some people do, but some of us don't enjoy feeling like somebody's like inside of their esophagus,
Some of us do.
some of us small gals. But yes, so I would say 6 inches, 6 inches.
Okay,
and
I wouldn't call that small.
No.
No.
Okay. Well, compared to the dildos that we've graduated to,
Yeah, I'll tell you about mine.
those
yeah.
are bigger,
Sure.
But she was purple. I had her for years until she broke. She was
You
silicone.
broke her.
I broke her.
Fuck yeah.
I never wanted another one. There were some cuter ones. There were some more expensive ones. But I was like, you know what? I'm definitely more of a vibrator person than a dildo person. Like, I don't mind things going in and out, but like, I would rather a live dick than like
I'm the opposite.
than a rubber one.
Obviously, I'm the opposite. Just
I would rather like fingers in a live dick than a rubber one.
Fair.
But I also think
Different.
that this is gross. What I'm about to say. Well, you know what?
Is it gross?
Well, it's not that it. Okay, all I'm saying is that I think my love of toys came from like everyone else, especially at boarding school. Girls are just going wild at boarding school. Let me just tell you.
On each other?
I'm sure, and also I lived in a co-ed dorm at some point
fun.
where they had to like seal off the mid. They used to share all of the dorm rooms. I mean the common rooms, and then they had to like seal off the middle one for the boys and the top and the bottom one for the girls because
Wow.
there was just so much semen on those couches after a while.
Oh my god.
I mean, your dorm parent goes to bed and like they have their own house and their own life and their own
oh,
children.
you're gonna
and
fuck.
you're like.
Yeah, that's
We had
time.
like a 3-leg rule. Like if you have a boy in your room, doors open, 3 legs on the ground. As if you can't have sex with 3 legs on the ground. Anyway, that said,
And more on that later. I need to unpack 3 legs at some
that
point.
said, I would say at boarding school, I felt really like we were all just exploring ourselves in a lot of different ways. And I think that most girls in high school, when you're first dealing with all those hormones and your urges, like when you're just so horny all the time, oh my God, I just remember us like sitting in the boys, like in the waiting room after the hockey games, just like pheromones on 1,000, like waiting for all these sweaty boys to come out. We were all,
my
but that
God.
said, I think everybody was just touching themselves, and I'm not. I'm not a hand person. I learned that very early. I do not enjoy the feel of my own juices. To put it, that's why I said it was gross. To put it plainly, and so
Don't love
toys
that.
were like a really, what felt like a cleaner, more controlled way to still explore myself
Right.
and experience pleasure.
Love that you found that.
And then toys with partners are, and we'll talk about that in a
Yeah.
minute. But toys with partners are so fun,
Yeah.
so fun.
So fun.
It
Yeah.
is such a fun time.
It is. Yeah.
You have more questions for me?
I have so many questions now about boarding school, but that's not why we're here.
Send your kids to boarding school.
Yeah, I guess this is actually a PSA.
You'll never have to. You'll never have to have the talk. Just send them to boarding school.
I mean, I have questions about sort of the cultural thought process around female sex toys. Like, I just in my mind, I like think about like how there was, and I don't know if this is still true, so maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but like there's this thing of like, oh, she's so uptight, let's get her a vibrator.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, okay. I will say openly that in a female orgasm, and I would say orgasms in general, but specifically a female orgasm is a complicated thing. And so when you can achieve it, right? not all vaginas are created equal. And as a result, like the amount of women that achieve actual climax through penetrative sex, regardless of whether it's a toy or not, is actually the percentage is very small.
Right.
Like clit is number one. Clit.
Put up a sign.
Seriously though, clit is the MVP. And as a result, like I think that that release is usually, I would say the female orgasm, I can't speak for men because I don't have a penis. I can't speak for people with penises because I don't have a penis. But I do understand that for us, it is a loosener. It is a like, ooh.
Spiritually.
Oh my God.
Mentally.
And it's not necessarily, we're not necessarily taught that we have the same access to getting ourselves off as men do. Like,
sure.
You can't just go into the bathroom and jerk off.
Right, it's not the same.
You probably can, but like, no, I don't know. I don't know a lot of women or non-men who are doing that.
Yeah,
what I do know is that release is literal and palpable and like it's like a Xanax.
Right.
It's literally like a
okay.
Xanax.
So then it's not derogatory in your mind to be like, get that woman a vibrator.
No, it's like why are men so much more encouraged to jerk off?
You don't think that's changing though? You don't think the culture is shifting?
But when we were growing up,
no.
When we were growing up, it was like, don't touch yourself like that. You can only do that. You can only do that when no one's in the house. You can only do, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, absolutely. It was all about preservation somehow.
Meanwhile, like there's so many jokes about like socks breaking from the amount of semen put in them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that was never for me.
I mean, I just think it's so, we are not, for the most part, like women and non-men are not raised to masturbate.
Right.
You have to learn that.
Yeah, you do.
And so toys are a really good entryway. And I would also say this preys on the fear that I think a lot of cishet men have that toys will replace them.
Oh my God, grow up.
I know.
Good God.
I know. And as opposed to it being an enhancer, like the better you know your body, the better you know your body with someone, the better you know your body by yourself, the better you know your body with someone
Absolutely.
else. Oh my
100%
God.
Preach on that. Yes. Yeah. I mean, listen, I have Dave. Dave is good to me.
What kind of but
Dave is
toy?
Dave is a standard dildo.
Okay, dildo.
He's a cock.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't do vibrate.
Is he girthy?
He is girthy.
I knew it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I knew it.
Don't shame me.
It's not shame. That's actually full self-aggrandization because I fucking know you.
Yeah. So that's Dave.
Is Dave black?
Dave is white.
Okay.
There was a moment in which Dave was going to be another
now
color.
I'm shaming you.
Yeah. No, there was a moment where Dave was going to be blue.
Why is that always the color?
Honestly, the reason why I couldn't do it is because I was getting like Arrested Development energy of like
not Avatar energy.
I couldn't like blue myself. Like I couldn't.
Oh my God, Tobias being gay. You're getting Tobias energy. I would be getting Avatar. I would be getting fucking.
No, I was getting Blue Man Group.
Sam Worthington Avatar energy.
No, I couldn't do it. So he's white. If I remember correctly, the black version of Dave was more expensive. So that's premium shit right there.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah. Dave is not alone in my drawer.
Okay.
There are other toys in the drawer that are I guess technically like anal plug moments.
Okay.
I don't.
Any of those vibrate?
No, nothing vibrates, babe.
No, okay, you're not a vibrate person.
No, I don't need it.
Okay.
I don't have a clit.
You don't need a clit to vibrate.
I don't need it. I don't need vibration inside me. Also, I think vibration inside me irks me. In
oh my God, vibration on your ass is amazing.
On fine. Inside, I don't
okay,
love.
Fair.
It's like the same thing I would feel about like sounding. I'm like, don't do that to me. Oh my God, you don't know what sounding is.
No.
Oh shit.
Is it like Reiki?
Do any of you straights know what sounding is? Okay.
Do you ever just ask if it was Reiki?
In a way. Okay, so everybody take a deep breath. Sounding is when you have an erect penis.
An erect penis.
And you put a metal rod inside of your penis. Through your...
Wait.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Yes. And then you take another metal rod and you...
Look at Liam's face.
And then you... the straights are once again recoiling. And once the metal rod is inside of your penis, you are hard. The rod is inside of your penis. And then you take another metal rod and you tap that rod and it vibrates
like
that.
a tuning fork. Okay, my question.
It's essentially a theremin inside of your cock.
It's like a sound bath.
It's a sound bath for your cock.
I get it. My question for you is, is so you're hard when you insert said.
You have to be.
Okay.
You have to be.
Right.
You have to be. Imagine a
But
flaccid
like
penis
in
when
your
you hold it.
urethra.
Yes. Where else?
No, I know there's one hole.
There's one
I
hole
feel
only.
bad for y'all.
Honestly, I like it. It's one-way street. I get it. I get what's happening. Everything comes out the same way. I don't have to like try to figure anything out. But yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying,
sounding.
I feel abundant that we have multiple holes. Continue.
Yeah, I feel lost. But yeah, that's sounding. I don't do vibration. Maybe because of my.
Sound.
I don't know. I've never done it. I don't
Is it
want to
like-
insinuate that I've done that.
Or is it like the glass? I bet it's like
It's like
the
more
glasses.
glass bowls. Yeah, it's
like
it's giving you sound bath.
Oh my
It's
god!
giving you sound
I bet that's
bath
fucking
and, like,
amazing.
Tom of Finland. Yeah, no, it's. I imagine it's
I bet that's
incredible.
amazing.
But
Brian, I'll kill you myself.
wow. But yeah, that's sounding. I don't do vibration. I don't do vibration for toys. I just also don't need it. I'm more of an in and out sort of person. Like I like the in and out more than the vibration inside.
Okay.
Yeah. I also I will say the toys that I have are purchased. The plugs that I have are purchased after my longest relationship ended a few years ago, and I was like, I'm gonna have a moment with me.
Yeah.
And then Dave came during the pandemic.
Okay. So, what was your first dildo, Dave?
Dave, I've
Good,
never had one before.
Good.
Yeah,
I mean-
I've never had one before. I'm okay with my hands. I am okay with my hands.
I mean, that makes sense to me, but I
Yeah.
also think that like, I mean, in the
There's
most
something so hot about it
explicit
to
way,
me.
we are just so much juicier than you.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah.
No,
Like-
but I'm like, I'm into like the Cirque du Soleil in the shower. You got your like leg up on the wall and you're like in there. Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
I
I'm
do.
looking for.
I do. And here's the other thing. Oh, and I mean, everybody knows a shower head also does wonders, but I do with good pressure. What I do though, like really find interesting is that you were older because you like your hand and you had such a good relationship. So you didn't necessarily feel the need to add anything different.
Yeah, no, I did not. I also have sexual trauma that I had needed to get over.
Got it.
And now I think was about that. There was a moment that I couldn't have yet
Sure.
with the toys.
Now, I have a friend who, they're dildos of all kinds. This is something that's interesting, and I've always wanted to try it. I have a friend who has a friend who makes glass blown dildos. And so she's got like 4 or 5 personalized for her body. Glass blown. I mean, my nightmare. They're not.
Do you see the fear in my eyes?
No, I do, but they're not
fear
thin.
in my eyes.
They're not. It's like very thick glass. So
okay.
for
like
them
plexi
to
almost.
Yeah, but like also just the thickness, the sheer thickness of the glass for them to break.
Okay.
They wouldn't break inside of you.
Oh, yeah,
they would
that's
break
what I'm horrified
in
of.
other places. But I would like. I think we are so much freer now. Like
Of course we
I
are.
think my mom's generation was like, no, masturbation is the devil.
I mean, sex has come so far. I mean,
Toys
you
are
really have to
about
understand
porn.
that, like this show in and of itself.
Yeah.
Even I would say 15 years ago, we would not be able to do this show.
No, we grew up
also,
with,
you
like-
and I would not.
Not-
we
not-
would
not-
not. A
not-
gay
not-
man
not-
and a black woman
no.
would never be able to do this show.
And I feel like we were, I mean, even like you're saying 15 years ago, 20 years ago, like Howard Stern was like
Right.
relegated to
Yeah.
the evening times because he was like a dirty, nasty motherfucker. I remember that. I remember like
he still is a dirty.
he is a
nasty
dirty, nasty motherfucker. But I do think that like Brian's active today.
Yeah,
Y'all.
really. Yeah. The streets are active. I brought up sounding, and he needed to
like,
return.
ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding. I do think that like remember Skinemax?
Are you kidding? Are you real? Talk about
Are
not wanting
you
to get caught.
Real.
Talk about not
No,
wanting to
same,
get
same,
caught.
Same.
Just like sitting on the couch, parents out to dinner. You don't know when they're coming home. There's no cell phones.
No.
There's just like people like, and they're not even having real sex.
No.
They're not. It's
They're
performance.
just like
It's performance art.
oh my
It's
god.
literally that.
It's literally
it's those people
performance
from
art.
Love Actually.
Yes.
It's that, and you're just sitting there. You're just like, sex is so fucking hot.
I know.
But it's not real.
But it's not real.
Oh, shit.
Or that or Real Sex Extra, which was like my favorite
Real
thing on
Sex
the
is
planet.
cool.
I
Real
wanted
Sex
this
is
show
cool.
to be that.
Yeah,
like
Real
I
Sex
want
is
us to be
cool.
on the street at night talking to people going home to have sex.
Soon enough.
But I think that soon enough. We don't even need to have a network for that. Like we just do that on our own.
Yeah, just my life.
I think that toys are the word toys is exactly right.
Right.
Like we are playful beings, you know,
Yeah.
like as somebody who has ADHD, the number one thing is like, especially if you're working in an office environment, is have like some fidget toy, like toys for adults in any way totally like stimulate a part of your brain that I think people forget about, or I think people think that they have to like put away once they grow up.
Yeah. So wait, let me ask you about more, the toys. You brought up the office. I was like, get that out of here.
No. I just mean like,
yeah,
play,
fidget spinners, yeah.
play.
Do you consider handcuffs toys?
No.
You don't consider?
I consider handcuffs like gear.
Oh fuck.
You know what I mean? Handcuffs are handcuffs are hardware, baby.
Hardware. Okay, so
like, do I consider whips toys?
Whips toys, yeah. Whips, chains, blindfolds.
I don't know. I think those are like
I'm arching my back as I tell you that. Yeah.
I think they're like accessories. And I understand that that's a semantic issue. It's like, it depends on who you are. I would rather you slap my ass than whip my ass. There's something a little bit like enslaved diasporan about being whipped.
Shit.
Yeah.
you're
So
right.
that's
No, you're
gonna.
right.
So
You're
for
right.
me,
You're right.
I'm gonna say
You're
no.
Yeah.
I don't think all black people feel that way. I'm not speaking for my entire community when I say that, but I'm just like, ooh, I don't like that. But
Even if he was black.
yeah, there's something like even weirder about that for me. But I understand.
Meanwhile, I will say like this guy that I've been seeing, like we are planning a trip to. Oh my god, I'm gonna call it the toy store. To the toy store.
Which one?
I don't know,
Babeland?
probably somewhere. Yeah, probably.
Beyblade was
Beyblade,
my favorite. Is my favorite.
I just also think that like, what a place to get to know your boyfriend, partner,
Beyblade, sponsor us, please.
sex friend. What a place to know them.
Yeah.
I like love the idea of like walking through an aisle of a sex shop in the way that you would walk through the aisle of a department store and be like, what's catching your eye? And then like, what's catching your eye?
Yes.
And then the idea that like you would eventually like split apart and then come back together and be like, look what I found. And then he would be like, look what I found. I love that.
More
It's such
than
a
that,
fun
it's
way
a
to get to
candy
know.
store. It's a
a
fucking
candy
candy
store.
store.
It's that.
I mean, not that we need to talk about where I live, but near where I live is this store on Santa Monica.
I know which one.
Is it Pleasureville?
Pleasureville.
Dude.
Wow. What
And
a
I'm
place.
sure, like, I mean, you remember in all those movies in the 90s, like the porn section or the toy section, where they were all in these like basement, or like you go into a store and then in the back curtain.
No, I
and
know.
now, we were in college at a time where that Babeland store on, I'm such a bad New Yorker now.
On St. Mark's?
No, it's near. It doesn't matter. It's near
doesn't.
Greenwich Village, but it's like on.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
There's
haven't
like
lived in New York in a decade. Yeah,
there's
I
a
can't.
huge Babeland store that was just like Babeland, and like you could see all the toys in the window, and I was just like, I was thinking to myself on the what?
On Bleecker?
It may be Bleecker. But it runs that way. It's a long one. It's a main street. It's not running a train. It's running a train.
Wait, sorry. I'm gonna
Back to
pivot.
toys.
I'm gonna pivot because you brought up candy, and I want to talk about food.
You want to talk about food?
I want to talk about food.
Wait.
What? You don't want
I
to
have
talk
one more question
Oh, yeah, no, ask
for
me.
you.
Sure.
Because if we're talking whips, you were telling me that this is like the sex toy industry is.
Oh, no, yeah, sorry. Stats. The sex toy industry is valued globally to be around $30 billion.
Straight to camera.
And I bring the camera back. It's expected to grow 10% annually over the next decade, which means it will 100% grow.
Yeah.
Meaning by the end of the decade, it'll be worth over $60 billion globally.
And I'm not surprised by that.
It just is a sign of, in my opinion, sexual liberation.
Absolutely.
And
on
that is
top
so
of that,
exciting.
It's so exciting. And
It's a lot of plastic, but it's very exciting.
Well, but it also doesn't have to be, right?
Doesn't have to be.
I think companies like Tango, I think they're like new initiatives that are making people go, let's make this sustainable. Even lube, right? Like lube is becoming vegan and like not animal tested and things like that. I think that we're innovating to match the time. Yeah. And I also know that our generation is going to we're going to invest in toys in a way that I don't think we've seen before. Are you a beads person?
I am not a beads person.
Okay.
I'm not a beads person, but I have not physically experienced beads. But if my partner or a stranger were to be like, not a stranger, but someone who I was
oh my Lanta.
Could you imagine a stranger comes to you on the street?
But
if you brought beads out, I would be like, okay, you know what you're doing? Great, let's go.
Oh my God.
I will say with beads, I will say with toys in general, as much as I am loving Dave, the like top in me like jumps out and I want to use the toys on the other person.
On someone. That was my next question.
I love that.
You love that.
Yes.
I love being the receiver of that.
Right. No,
I
love
love
giving.
experiencing
that's
someone else's joy of giving me that with a toy.
I bet. No, I bet.
It makes you closer.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also there's like a control element there where you're like, oh, I have to like surrender to whatever you are going to do with that toy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
like I said, I'm terrified of butt plugs, but I understand the point of them.
Yeah.
I am very curious about beads.
Okay.
I always
Vaginal
have been,
beads.
vag or
Anal.
anal. I'm very curious about those. I'm very curious about. It's bizarre to say, I'm very proud of the women that. I feel a deep pride for the people with vaginas that use double-sided dildos. I'm like, you know what? Good job.
Ass to ass.
Do whatever you need to do.
The Requiem for a Dream trauma is
The people with
rushing through my
holes,
body.
the people with holes who are using double-sided dildos, I just am like, good job.
Yeah, I mean, listen, ass to ass.
Arya's silent. Arya said,
I don't know if y'all understand the like cicadas. It's giving me Requiem for a Dream, and that's the trauma that I just have with ass to ass.
Sure,
and
that's
double-sided
fair.
dildos. That's all.
I mean, listen, beads give me 50 Shades of Grey. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, as they
you know.
should. Yeah.
And I as much as that movie, that franchise is what it is, it can be a giant eye roll, but it's also completely normalized BDSM culture in a way that had
100%.
never been before.
100%.
So, and we'll do a whole episode on BDSM, but I do think that a lot of that's why I say that some of that shit is like gear. Like
No, I know. No.
do you know what
You
I
said
mean?
that, and I
Like,
felt that, and
yeah,
I'm with that.
yeah.
That is gear.
So, yes to toys. Y'all go get yourself a toy.
Get a toy.
One day,
support the adult toy industry.
absolutely, and I hope one day that we get to have some fun sponsorships and like giveaways.
Oh my
and
God,
shit. It'd be
truly.
so
Bring them
rad.
to us. We would love to have them.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Please.
We will be the
Now-
best spokespeople you've ever had.
Sanitize your toys.
Sanitize your toys.
Please sanitize
Lube
your
your
toys.
toys.
Lube
We
your
are-
toys.
This is Team Lube.
1000%
Yeah.
Team Lube.
Team Lube.
Sanitize your toys. Lube them.
Yeah.
And just keep doing what you're doing. Now, you wanted to talk about food.
I do want to talk about food.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I don't do food in the bedroom.
You just like start talking about what you're eating for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. I don't do food in the bedroom. I'm willing to openly announce that like I have some body dysmorphia and have gone through a long body transformation, and I don't still feel comfortable bringing food into the sexual environment.
Sure.
Um,
Do you feel that certain foods have a sexual nature?
yeah,
Okay.
like a popsicle.
Wow, not what I thought you were going to say.
What do you think I was gonna say?
I don't know, cucumber.
No, I don't. The vegetables, no. Fruits and vegetables, no.
Popsicle.
Popsicle.
Okay.
It's yeah.
Okay, we'll get there.
Popsicles.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't fruits and vegetables. No, mostly because yeah, the garden. I don't know.
You don't think the act of harvesting a cucumber?
I love the act of whatever this is, but I don't need the cucumber there.
Okay.
I don't need that.
Great.
No, no. I think also because I primarily eat vegetarian. Thank you. So yeah, I don't know. I and like whipped cream and things like that don't really do it for me. I actually feel like I'm more open to that.
Okay.
Like I'm into the idea. Wow, we're really gonna do it today. Like I'm into the idea of like utilizing whipped cream on like a whole
Okay.
when you're eating a whole.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So,
But like I'm not. I'm so mentally intrigued with the idea of like utilizing other things as like lube.
right.
Like for example, do you know, and gays know, hopefully, like one of the best lubricants in the game is coconut oil.
Oh, I bet. Now, oils and the vagina
I don't know
are
her.
an interesting thing.
I don't know her.
Because oils, you don't know her, and that's fine. Oils in the vagina, I think, are interesting because there is a heat factor. So friction and oil,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
I mean, there's a heat factor of friction and oil in my ass as well.
Yes, but I don't know how to describe it. Like the vagina is already
Oh, there's
quite
juicy,
warm.
yeah.
Yeah. And I would also say then with your butt, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, listen, if you are a person with a vagina and you're like, oil is number one, let us know. There's something I do like about lube that it's water-based. A lot of lube
oh
is
my God,
water-based.
water-based
So,
only.
yes,
Please
please,
just
Lord.
use water-based lube. Like, don't do
like
silicone or whatever
unbelievable.
it is.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah, and I just like, I don't know, the thought
It's also
of
bad for condoms. It's worth noting that non-water-based lube deteriorates condoms faster.
I did not know that.
Now, the more you know, shooting star.
Shooting star.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, I might be wrong about that, but I just like the thought of oil in my vagina makes me cringe a little bit.
I'm telling you, coconut oil is the best lube I've ever used in my life.
Wow.
Wow. It's incredible.
You saying wow back.
Wow.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Well, it was a learning moment. You know, I cook with it, and then suddenly I was doing other stuff with it, and I was like, wait.
I mean, listen, I'm
coconuts.
I'm upset at you for that. I'm a very well moisturized individual, so coconut oil is a part of my life.
Coconuts.
And in all of my pores.
But I'm not bringing like a Subway sandwich into the bedroom. I'm not bringing like.
I don't know if anybody else is either, but
There are. Yes, there are.
That
yes,
smell is unforgettable.
The bread.
The bread.
What are you doing with food in the bedroom?
Okay. So this is what I discovered in my research because I'm fascinated by it. I am personally not that interested because the only mess I want to make is with our bodies. I don't necessarily want food mess near my genitalia. Now, that is like a weird specific to Sydney OCD moment.
Sure.
But I do think that it's interesting that this is something that it has been around for forever and also that we love. Like we sort of in pop culture also like love mixing food and sex. And obviously part of it is the exploration and the activation of the mouth, right? The mouth is like is an incredibly sexual place.
9.5
eating,
weeks, yes.
Well,
Eating.
9.5 weeks, absolutely. Oh my God.
Wow.
I don't know if we can show that clip, but if not, just go
watch
it.
Watch 9.5 weeks.
Watch 9.5 weeks, but also watch that like
Yeah.
7.5
You
minute
find it,
scene
yeah.
of him feeding her
Oh.
food, and then wow.
I'm into the eroticism of feeding each other food.
So
that is something I feel
feederism.
that. Oh shit.
Feederism, which is an offshoot of the fat fetish. Continue.
Okay.
I know.
Wow. Triggered by that.
Well-
But yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm okay with. I do think feeding someone is a hot thing. Yeah. And then like suddenly my fingers in your mouth. Yeah. Absolutely.
Just put your fingers in my mouth. Oh, here it is.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh my God,
Wow.
Mickey Rourke. Why did you get so much work done? Your face was so good.
The music is incredible.
Okay, strawberries. That is the
Strawberries.
number one. That is the
Strawberries.
number one. That is everyone's number
so
one.
let's take a public poll. Like, I just think strawberries are the least sexual
Sexy?
berry.
Well, I think because of the mouth activation,
But like raspberries feel way more sexual.
yeah, but
to
you just
me.
pop them in. Like raspberries disappear quite quickly. I think the whole point is the use of your mouth. It's the smell. It's a sensory overload experience.
Sure.
Is the reason that food play or cetophilia is a thing that we like. Now, there are offshoots of other fetishes that fall under this, like the wet and messy fetish, which is my nightmare.
What
but
is
like
that?
when people want to cover them, like people
Cover
will
themselves in honey.
Not even just in honey. Honey is like the most benign. Cover themselves in like cream pies to not sexual cream pies, but like and like roll around like mud and like
Oh, in mud.
Like I'm not the one. I understand. Like we like that. I don't know. We like to be
do.
sticky and soft and
I
wet
mean, the
and messy.
stickiness is like giving me like American Pie.
No,
terror.
that's but American Pie also like brought the conversation about food play like just like 9.5 weeks
straight into the world.
Straight into the world, and I just
I've never done that. I wonder.
put your dick in a pie hole.
Have you ever put your dick in a pie?
Did you ever try that after you watched that movie?
Oh, he's
Brian,
thinking
I
about
don't want to
it.
know
He's
this about
thinking
you.
about it.
I think you probably did.
He's thinking about it long enough to make it not a pie.
Not a pie, but
A
other
cake?
things.
Probably something else.
A
Probably
cake?
something else.
Like a carrot cake.
Look at what's happening.
He's again
He's
recoiling.
just like,
He's like, don't ask me.
Yeah, but but again, like I think that. So let's talk about the foods because I think people misconstrue the idea of aphrodisiacs and also food in the bedroom. Aphrodisiacs are mostly herbs.
Are you affected by aphrodisiacs?
The right ones, yeah. So like sweet potato, which like heightens everyone's testosterone level and like a bunch of and like hormone level, yes. Maca, yes.
Oysters?
Oysters are not actually an aphrodisiac chemically.
I was gonna say I don't
It's
feel
just-
the oysters.
It's a placebo. It's like the act of being like
Slurping.
Yeah.
It looks like a
So
vagina.
I think because I've been told it, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say, what else? The actual aphrodisiacs are things like ginger and garlic and olive oil and things. I mean, it's and for what they literally do to your body, and then you have things like horny goat weed and Ambrian, which I had never heard
What's
of.
Ambrian?
Ambrian is just another like herb weed that activates your
And you rub it on
body.
yourself?
No, you consume
You
it.
consume it.
hmm But I think aphrodisiacs again are this like fun idea that we can stimulate ourselves sexually through this as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's about taste and it's about texture, which is where it does intersect with food play.
Right.
So the number one foods. What do you think the foods are? What does everybody use?
Like whipped cream?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe a cucumber. No, we didn't love that. Cherries.
Mm-hmm.
Strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's a nightmare.
I know, but
Like-
I also don't like chocolate.
Oh, I do. Dark chocolate, but not on my body.
Not on my body.
And then like a maple syrup or like a honey would be the next
Yes,
thing. that comes to
100%.
mind.
And those are like
The sticky things I have
the
questions about. But also the sticky
things.
things. I can get into it.
I get it.
The syrup, I'm intrigued.
Ice.
Fuck off.
Ice.
Wait, I'm going to do this. Tell me more.
Ice is fun. And this
Ice
is something I
seems
have
really
done.
fun.
Ice is very fun. And this is the whole point. Like part of food play is also like, you're not using, if you do use a cucumber, don't use a cold one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
sure,
bring it to
yeah.
room temperature
Yeah,
at least.
at
I
least.
think the idea with ice is that you get to play with an ice cube.
Oh.
You get to play around a nipple.
Felt
You get
it,
to
yeah,
play.
felt it,
Yeah,
yeah.
you get to play, or you get to like explore that sort of temperature experience. And honestly, the same with oil and chocolate. Like because chocolate melts
right.
and is sort of dependent on body heat to be
Yeah.
spread around in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. Like I think there's I get it. I don't want to, but
right,
I
but
get
you're
it.
never like laying on a table being covered with sushi.
No, and that's, oh my God, the name for that. There's a name, they gender it. So there's a name for when there's a woman on a table, and then there's a name for when there's a man on
Wow.
the table. But yeah, like
That's exhibitionism at its best. Exhibitionism.
it is
no?
exhibitionism, but it is cetophilia. It is
It
food
is.
play.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a naked person with raw fish on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I kind of get it. That one
I
I kind
kinda
of
get it
But that to me
too.
also, again, is giving performance art.
But again, like once you're activating sort of, because again, it's, let me just say again one more time. Again, it's not about necessarily just the textures. It is also about, as we saw in that 9.5 weeks moment, the feeding.
Yeah.
Like the literal act of masticating and chewing and tasting activates
Something.
a very similar part of your brain.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you've had a sexual experience in a meal. You and I, Arya and I are
100.
like food people.
I am a food person.
Like when I went to Quintanil in Ciudad de Mexico, and I just was sitting there by myself,
Totally.
like having an orgasm.
Totally.
And everyone was looking at me because I was by myself.
Yeah. That's the best.
But and then I was just hammered at the end of it.
Yeah.
But it was just such a sensory, delicious experience. Now, alcohol for women specifically is way more of an aphrodisiac than for men,
I get that.
which makes a lot of sense.
I get that.
Apparently, cocaine is also a chemical aphrodisiac.
Please be careful if you're doing cocaine these days. Please be
Please
careful.
just don't do cocaine.
Don't do
these
cocaine.
days.
But if you're doing cocaine, like get the fentanyl strips. It's happening.
100%,
Just be
it is
safe
happening.
out there.
But that said, cocaine in its like natural form was considered at its conception an aphrodisiac,
Interesting.
and so, which explains a lot about the 80s as well.
Yeah.
But that we understand sex to be a full body, full sensorial experience.
Yes.
And though I don't like chocolate, I understand why somebody would want to like lick chocolate off my body.
100%.
Although,
What? You just don't want it.
yeah, I don't.
But would you
wanna-
let him or them?
If somebody asked me to, yes. Now there are some rules here, right? Clean your produce. There are certain things that also in the 9.5 weeks when he puts a jalapeno in her mouth, spicy and genitalia is not ever a good idea.
I kinda
Maybe
dig
in
it.
your mouth.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know.
the The skin on your vagina is very similar to eyelid skin. The
Fair.
effect,
Listen, vaginas are different.
The 100%, but the effect that like you've ever cut a jalapeno and rubbed your eyes, like
Yeah.
oh my.
I mean, what
God.
somebody doing? Cutting or just like fucking grating your vagina with a jalapeno?
I'm just saying, like, what else are you doing with a jalapeno? Right. But if I would say two spicy mouths, absolutely, probably is so fun. Lemon is fun, but again, stay away from the genitalia, stay away from like open wounds, but like definitely lemon, definitely taste. I would say if you're going to, again, clean your produce. Clean your produce
Clean
because
everything.
no matter
Clean it
what,
all.
there are like microbes on
clean it all.
on produce even when you do clean them. So just be
And like if something's going inside of you, do you put a condom on it?
That is interesting. I would say yes.
I would also say
I would
yes.
say absolutely yes. I would say even in porn, yes. Like I feel like porn taught me that.
Yeah.
But I think that food is a really fun way, just like toys. It's just playtime.
It's playtime.
It's exploratory playtime. And I don't know. And I don't know for me. Now, if we were in like a latex room, if we're in like an empty room where I don't have to clean the sheets, like maybe, but like,
but like you said, I'm more intrigued by the food play that happens like in the act of eating and like in a meal, like giving me Lady and the Tramp energy.
Yes, like I'm so much. That's the other thing. I am so much more interested in food as foreplay than actually food as sexual.
Yeah,
act.
like food as foreplay, toys as segue.
Right.
Than the act.
Right, and like don't eat too much.
Don't eat too much.
Don't eat too much when you're in the bedroom. That's like a thing
that
was said in one of the rules. Like you will just feel horrible. You will just feel
I'm
sick.
not trying to fuck if I'm
no.
full.
If I'm full. But like do come hungry. Do.
Always come hungry.
Do come hungry. I mean,
My goodness.
Being too full, even if you're going to get dinner before sex, like can just make you sluggish and like underperform.
If you have a big meal, go for a walk before you fuck.
100%.
Just get the blood going. Get the body ready.
But if you're curious, put some towels down and just do it.
If you're curious,
get in the bathroom, get in the kitchen, and just
get in the room.
Do it. Get in the room and do it.
If you have a washing machine somewhere, just do it.
If you have the luxury of having a washing machine,
if it's not in your apartment,
home,
it's somewhere. It's somewhere.
Yeah, and
if you're interested, don't let the fact that you don't have an in-unit washer dryer make or break the situation.
That would make or break the situation for me personally.
Oh, but if you wanted it so bad, I would hope that you would chase it.
If I wanted it so bad, I'd be like, let's go to the bathroom. Let's go in the tub and just like get in there.
Okay, fair.
You know,
fair.
like I think it brings you closer in a way that toys do as well.
Yeah,
like
they do.
Somebody feeding you, somebody just again, fingers in mouths.
Yeah.
Taste is so important. And don't let anybody tell you the genitalia actually tastes good because it don't.
It don't, but at the same time, stop making scented lube.
Stop making scented lube because it doesn't actually help.
Doesn't
then you're
work.
just tasting the skin and the scent.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no. But explore. It's I learned a lot. I'm like,
you're into it a little now.
Maybe honey.
Maybe honey. Honey and
maybe...
syrup are the ones that I'm like, somehow put it on my nipple.
Syrup is hilarious.
Syrup, it's just, my fear with syrup. Honey, I know will stay where you put it.
Yeah.
Syrup will run. She is not as viscous as honey. No, she will. Suddenly it's there, suddenly it's somewhere else. I mean, now I've just got honey everywhere. And I feel like that poor girl in The Parent Trap who wakes up covered in all the honey.
Oh my God. And also lastly, y'all, what you eat really does affect the way that you taste. Just always remember that.
Truth. Power to the pineapple.
It doesn't matter what you have in your pants. It just...
it does. It does matter.
It does matter. Fish, wheatgrass, berries, pineapple. You will taste all of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I think this is the most turned on I have been at the end of an episode.
I love that's because you want to just go get an ice cube now. And
all of
also
it. To the store I go.
I'm rooting for that STI panel.
I know, me too.
I'm excited for you guys.
More on that later.
And also, I just want to say, Arya walked into the studio and said to me, "The gym was a brothel."
The gym was a brothel.
I don't know if this is the next episode, but I really want to talk about
public. So if you're watching this and you have anything you want to tell us about anything, you could put it in the comment, particularly about public and or other stuff. Thanks for doing the research on the food.
Sure.
I'm like
Thanks
both
for doing
hungry
the research on
and
the
turned
toys.
on. Yeah.
Both literal, personal, practical research and otherwise.
Absolutely. Friends, we'll see you soon. This has been Nocturnal Eruptions. My name is Arya.
And I'm Sid.
See you next time.
Go get laid.
Hey.